Hi there, everybody. Tenacious Earl back for a game here on the Tabletop Baseball channel. It's been a couple days. Took a couple days off from doing this. I don't know. I hadn't really felt sort of the, stirring in my gut to play a game here the last couple days for some reason. Partly there's stuff going on. Partly I was just kind of beat from a couple of reasons. I stayed up for a soccer game to the bitter end, and then I had to get up early, so it kind of took a lot out of me. And then, I don't know, sometimes you just aren't in the mood to do certain things, and I guess I wasn't in the mood for this, but today I am. Have one more game to finish out May 16. Been playing a lot of these games, almost all of them online, and I really have to start figuring out a way to motivate myself to do more offline, because it's great to be able to put them out here for, my own, partly for me, partly for the people who watch and who are learning and who maybe are thinking about buying the game. I need to turn on this fan. It's starting to, whenever I close the door behind me, it gets pretty warm in here. It's actually a cooler day here in sort of the mid-Atlantic, but still very humid. But anyway, it's just, you have, but the thing about playing offline games is that, number one, you can kind of rattle through them a little more quickly. You're not trying to put as much into the presentation, as well as, you just don't run into as many snags when you're doing it offline. So, but we'll see. I just have to figure out how I'm going to do that, if I'm going to do that. So Marlins, Angels. Marlins won the first game by a score of 12-5. So this is game 2 of the series. The Marlins have an 8-5 record. The Angels 5-8. And let's get into the game here. One injury out for the Angels. Carlos Perez is basically day-to-day, we'll call it. He will be back next game, but it was a one-game injury, so it's not really a lot to worry about in his case. They also have Craig Gentry, who is a holdover. He is injured. Also, Nick Tropiano, he is out for another week or so. He's going to miss 2 starts in the process. For the Marlins, their only player that is missing at the moment is D. Gordon, who is suspended until June 7th, so he's got another 2.5, 3 weeks to go in his absence. So the Marlins are in 3rd place. Actually, I need to refresh my memory. I think Oakland beat Pittsburgh last game, so they are definitely in 3rd at the moment. Basically a game and a half back of the Pirates. So, okay, so this will also be the first game on the mound for Ulysse Chacin. I think I said that wrong. Chacin. It's a tongue twister of a name. The Angels picked him up mid-season in a trade. I believe it was a trade from the Braves. Sorry, getting a drink here. So this is his first start. It kind of coincides with Tropiano being injured. Gonna have to figure out another starter for the Angels in a few days. It might be Huff. That was one guy that got a couple starts. Thanks, Beatles. Glad to be back doing a game. It's need a couple days off. And so, anyway, so for the Marlins, they'll have Martin Prado at 3rd, then Miguel Rojas at 2nd this game, as Dietrich, as well as Real Muto, get days off, the catcher. Christian Yelich in left, John Carlos Stanton in right, Justin Bour first base, Marcell Ozuna in left, Hechavarria shortstop. Catching will be Mathis in place of Real Muto, and Kohler is going to be the pitcher for the Marlins, and he has his own card, and he likes to go down swinging or looking. So, all right, here we go. Prado gonna lead off against the righty Chacin. Against a righty, it's a 5-10. That's a catcher X. That is Giovanni Soto for this game. He's injured Perez. All right, so we're gonna have to check the. He is a 3 and a 16. It's a foul out unless there's an error. He's an E1, and that's a 16. And he does make the play. And that'll be the first out. Foul out to Soto. Here's Rojas. Not to be confused with Row House. Against a righty. 6'9", another X chance, this time to shortstop Simmons. 1E14. 20 and a 14. Let's make sure. I think that'll be okay, but 14 and a 14. And the out is made. Brings up Yelich. And a 1-2, we'll roll the D20 for that. It'd be a 1-6 single. That's an 18. It's a line out to Javatella. And that's going to be it for the Marlins in the first. No runs, no hits, no errors. A little shake up here in terms of the lineup for the Angels. They've been a little down on their luck lately. It'll be Javatella, second base, leading off. Cole Calhoun in right, bat second. Trout batting third and center. Then C.J. Cron at first. As you can, if you remember, we had Cron in left and Pujols at first last game, and didn't necessarily work out too well. So they're gonna sit Pujols this game. Simmons batting fifth, shortstop. Soto catching. Yunel Escobar third base. Rafael Ortega in left, and Ulis Chacin. I keep saying Chacin. It's Chacin. Pitching. And he's got number 3 hitting card. So, all right. Kohler's a righty, and Javatella will start. Against a righty, a 6-7, he strikes out. And I forgot to move my stand over. Cole Calhoun, lefty. 6-10 against a left-hander, another strikeout. And with 2 outs, that'll be Mike Trout. 3-8, and he draws a walk. Kohler, not the greatest at holding on. He's a +1, and Mathis is a -1, so that's a 0. Trout, if he can get a good lead, a 1-16, he would definitely try to get into scoring position. You need a 5 or a 6 when you add these red dice, and you don't get it. So you would have to go with his second number and subtract 4. It makes it 1-8. A little tempting to try and go on a 40% chance. Not a great odds, but it's also not great odds to hit 2 in a row. So 8 on the D20. 1, 9. Well, there you go. Could score Trout on this. 2-20 is a double on the 1-9. And it is a 2. That's a double. And Trout you add 2 for Trout, makes him a 19, and then it's to center field. That's Ozuna. He's a -3, so that makes it Trout. Well, he was being held on as well, so 19-18 -3 is a 1-15 chance. They're gonna throw home. They'll try to get him at home here. Cron will be able to go to third if they don't get him. 1-15 he's out, or 1-15 he's safe. 16-20 he is out. And I'm going to put my hand here so that way it stops it. And it's a 17. He is thrown out, and that ends the inning. 8-6-2. That's it. So, what could have been isn't. No runs for the Angels. Tough to believe he couldn't get home on that, but Ozuna's arm pays off. If it had been a 0, he would have been... they might not have even thrown if it had been 0. So, still nothing. Here's Stanton against a righty, a 5-8 second base X. That's 4E10. And that guy is leaning. I'm going to re-roll that guy. But a 4 and a 3 is going to be a single anyway, so no error, but it's a single for Stanton. That brings up Bohr. .59 against a lefty, fly ball to right. Will be caught. Stanton won't be able to advance. 1 out. Ozuna. Stanton does not run, so they are holding him on, but that's a 2-5. That's a ground ball to pitcher. There will be a double play ball. 1, 4, 3. End of the inning. So no runs, 1 hit. Nobody left. And the Angels will have 5, 6, and 7 up to the plate. Simmons. Both teams with a hit so far. That's a 6-7 against a righty. Strikes out. 3 strikeouts for Kohler. Giovanni Soto. 6-3 against a right-hander. Ground ball back to Kohler. 5E8. Not a great fielder. It's a 3. That's going to be a hit. That'll be a single. And then Kohler, the E8. Yeah, not an error, but that will be a single for Soto. Doesn't have the range to get it, so that's going to bring up Yaniel Escobar. 1 on, 1 out. There's a 111. Ground ball to the pitcher B. Means Kohler will take it to, let's see, it'll be Rojas to get the lead runner. It'll be a fielder's choice, and now it brings up Ortega with 2 outs. Escobar, not a very good stolen base threat here. 4-7 against a lefty, and that's a walk. You can see that there. It's going to move Escobar into scoring position. We'll see if Chacin is able to get a hit here. He is batting from the right side against Kohler. 1st and 2nd, 2 away. And that's a 1-9, 11 on the D20, 1-9, and that is a single with no stars. And again, a dilemma here for the Angels. Do they send Escobar? Escobar, we hold the lead runners on, so that makes it takes him to a 9. 2 because add 2 because there's 2 outs. Gets a head start, so that makes it 1-11. And again, it's center field. You assume center field, so that would be Ozuna again with a -3, so that takes him down to 1-8. That's a tough call. Javitella is a 287 on base guy. Of course, that's not everything that he's got to offer, but you got a 1-8 chance. They're going to hold him with 2 outs. Brings up Javitella. They need another hit on that single. If it was a speedier runner, maybe I think the chance would be a lot better. I mean, That's the Captain Obvious of the year there. It would obviously be better if he had a better runner, but I think it's just too risky at that point. Javatella with bases loaded, 2 outs. That's a 6-4 against a righty. Ground ball to third base. Third baseman is Prado. He's a 2E10. Make it a 3E10 because they hold the lead runner. So let's see what happens here. 3E10. It's an 11. Hi, Al. So the 11 on a 3, it's a G2. And then 13 on an E10. Uh-oh. That's going to be an error. And that's going to score the run. So that's going to be an E5. Prado boots it. Escobar comes in to score. And so holding the runner, at least in this case, pays off. And they do get a run out of it. Everybody moves up a bag. Unearned for Kohler. Base is still loaded. Here comes Cole Calhoun with a chance maybe to do some real damage. 2 out. Base is loaded. There's a 1-9. And a 1-9 is a ground ball to the pitcher. That will get them out of the inning. He'll just take it straight to the first base bag. But they do pick up a run on the error by Prado. And Chacin gets actually gets a hit in his first at bat here for the Angels. So there'll be Hechavarria here leading off the third. 1-0 Angels. 2-10. That's a foul out to Escobar. Drawing a blank there for a second. Jeff Mathis. 2-5, and Jeff Mathis is going to get a base hit here. Single. With Kohler up here. Not a good bunter, not a good hitter. They are going to have him try to drop down the bunt. It's going to be an E bunting situation because they're expecting it. And it's an 8. I think an E. Let's see. An E and an 8. Makes it 1 and 2. And they're still going to have him bunting. That's a 9. That's the third strike. That's an out. Three errors and cost the Red Sox and Bill Lee a possible win. It's too bad. So Prado with Mathis at first, still 2 outs. Couldn't move the runner over. That's a 1-10. Get some glare here. 1-10. That's a ground ball to second, and they will get out of the inning as Javatella throws to first. And let's see. Somehow I left a card behind there. Okay. Bottom of the third. Hey, Jerry. Happy Saturday to you and to all. All right, Trout. Looking for his first hit of the game. 4-5 against a right-hander, ground ball to short. Hechavarria throws to first. C.J. Cron. Against a righty, a 4-8. 1-16 would be a single. That's a 14. 2 hits for Cron, a single and a double. Now it's time for Simmons, and they're holding Cron on. They're going to go hit and run with Simmons here. Going to be an A chance. And a 5 on an A. And we have the 2, so we go off the chart. A5. And that's a single 2-star. So, playing the hit and run works to perfection. With 1 out. It's a chancy thing with 1 out. You could end up with 2 outs and a runner at second, but this time hit the magic roll. Giovanni Soto now, first and third. The Marlins will play in at the corners. They want to turn 2 if they can get a ground ball to the middle infield. 5-7, 2 on the D20. So that shuts everything down for a minute. With a 5, that makes passed ball check, and Mathis is a 0 for passed ball, so we don't have to worry about it. We re-roll now for Soto with no check on that D20. 3-10. Ground ball to second, C, so that's going to score a run. His only play will be to first base. That's Miguel Rojas. The run will score. RBI given to Soto, and it's now 2-0 Angels. If we'd gone full infield then, I think it would have held them up. 8. Yep, runner on third would have held. So Escobar now with a runner at second. 2 outs. And a 6-12. Luckily that's Kohler. He's got a 0 injury. Oh, but guess what? We got another passed ball, and passed ball doesn't matter because it's a 0, so we re-roll. Escobar still at the plate, 1-8. That's a 1-5 single. We make first and third with 2 outs again. And there's a 3, so we get it. They get it. I don't know why I'm saying we. So first and third, 2 outs. It's going to be Ortega. They could walk him here and bring up Chacin, but they're going to go ahead and let him swing away here. And that's a 2-9. And a 2-9 is trouble. Maybe they should have walked him. 1-6, a home run. A double otherwise. That could score 2. It's a 12. That is a double, and it's going to score Simmons for sure. With the pitcher coming up, they're going to be sending Escobar. Definitely, even though he's a slow runner. Well, are they definitely? I didn't last time. So were they holding him on? There was a runner at third, so they would have to hold on Escobar. So it's the same thing again. 1-11. Again, and so subtract the 3 for Ozuna. It's a 1-8. They're going to take their chances this time. Or are they? They're sending him. No guts, no glory. 1-8, so 40% chance. I'm putting my arm here so it doesn't go away off the screen. Let's see if they can get the 40% roll and get him home. And Ortega would take third in that case. That's another 12 somehow, so he's out. Ends the inning. Another outfield assist there for Ozuna. They do get 2. It's 3-0. Maybe trying to get a little greedy there. So Chacin comes in here and gets a 3-run lead spotted to him. Here's Rojas against a righty, and he singles 4-6. Marlins looking to respond here. Here's Yelich. They're holding him on. They're going to go hit and run, a B hit and run chance. That's a 12. Uh-oh. But it's a 6-12. And that's Chacin's injury. That's a fly ball to center field. Shallow, so that's the first out. And we've got to check and see what's up with Chacin here. 1 or 2, he stays for sure. 3 or 4. The end of the inning. Okay, see ya. Nope, don't be sorry. Yeah, definitely out. 3 and 4, he comes out at the end of the inning. 5-6, he's out immediately. And then we'll see what's on the D20. 7 for a pitcher is a 1-game injury. Chacin qualifies for that. He doesn't have 30 starts in the season. 3 means he comes out at the end of the inning. So let him finish it up here. So Stanton. So he won't even miss a start, but he's going to be out the rest of this game. So Stanton with Rojas at first. Chacin -2, and looking at potential steal. Soto +1, so -1. Yeah, that's like a 1. Yeah, maybe we'll try it with 2 outs. Stanton, 112, and he'll walk. Now there's no need to steal. Brings up Justin Bour, the lefty. First and second, 1 out. And there's a 6-8. Against a left-hander, 6-8, 1-11, single chance. It's an 8. So, bases are going to be loaded, as it was a 1-star, and Chacin definitely seems to be having some effects here if he was injured a bit. Bases loaded, 1 out. They're going to play the infield back. They want 2. Here is Ozuna. 312, and he is injured on a hit by pitch. It's going to score a run. Forces a run home. Got to see if Ozuna, how long he's going to be injured for. And let's see, he's, what do we do here? It's by at bats and walks. Well, he's right at 600. The most he can have is a 3-game injury, so let's roll it off here. It's a 14, which is a 4-game injury. Well, he can't go 4. He can play the rest of the game, 1-3 for batters. Means he can stay in, so we will keep him in, but he'll miss the next 3 games. All right, so 1 in, it's 3-1, Angels still, but here is Hechavarria with the bases loaded. Again, they're going to play the infield back. 4-6 against a righty, and that's another single. That's going to score at least 1. With 1 out, are they going to try to tie the ball game here? Not with Bour running. They're going to go station to station here. And it's going to bring up Mathis. So the Angels starting to burst at the seams here. Angels, they're getting a little worried about their pitcher too. The guy they just traded for. And actually, I forgot to write down here. Just seen 1 game. It's going to be Ozuna. 3 games missed. All right. And the Angels, they're in a bit of a pickle with their relievers. They've been having to use a bunch of them here. They're going to get Bedrosian up to try and get out of this inning, maybe, if he can't get a couple more guys out. Here's Mathis, bases loaded. Now they're going to play the infield in. They'll come home with it if they can get a ground ball. 2-3, and a 1 on the D20. Potential wild pitch. Chacin is a 1-14. 1-14, and it's a 6, a wild pitch, and the game is tied. 3-3. Mathis still at the plate. They're going to ask Chacin to walk Mathis, and then they're going to get him out. He's struggling pretty mightily here in the 4th inning. And it's going to be Bedrosian to try and come in and tamp this out here with 1 out, bases loaded. Bedrosian. He's got a injury rating that's a little bit on the high side as well. Chacin only goes 3 1/3. Okay. They're playing the infield in here. Here's Kohler. Boy, it's tempting for the Marlins to try and see if they could get by pinch hitting for Kohler here. They're going to go ahead and let him swing away off of Bedrosian here. So here's the pitch. That's a 3-9. Strikes him out. Could have been a lot worse there. So with 2 outs, it'll bring up Prado. Again, they're playing back now. Bases loaded. 2 outs, and it's a 1-8. 1-8, and that folks. Oh, and there's a 1 on the D20. Oh man, Marlins just get robbed. Although they might get another run. That's a wild pitch. Check. 1-17 for Bedrosian. So yeah, that's a wild pitch again. Angels pitcher's throwing it to the backstop. And now they take the lead. The Marlins do. So Prado gets robbed there. He would have had a ball. He would have had a clutch single. So here is Prado. Still first and second and third, 2 outs. 5-6 against a righty. Strikes him out. Ends the inning. So that was a turnaround of sorts. 4 runs for Miami. I almost said Florida. Haven't been in Florida in a while, but Bedrosian gets a couple outs there. They will let him pitch. Actually, they can't, because I should have looked at that. They're going to get Joe Smith warming up here. So Kohler sees his team put 4 on the board in the top of the 4th, and now he will face, well, it's the pitcher spot, and they're going to pinch hit for. And they're short a pinch hitter as well, so they're going to start with Shane Robinson. So bottom of the 4th. 1-6, ground ball to the pitcher. So Kohler doesn't have any issues with that one. Javatella. And a 5-10 against a right-hander, ground ball to short. Check Hechavarria, 1E16, 1-11, and then it's going to be a 9. That's just fine. These little marks over here, Hechavarria has one. If they have a mark, then if it's between 8 and 12 on the error check, you add these together. If it's between 8 and 12, there's no chance of an error. So brings up Cole Calhoun. And 3-7, ground ball to second baseman. Rojas throws to first, and I think we're going to have to, as much as Calhoun is a good hitter for the Angels, I think because they are short, because Perez was only out 1 game, they haven't brought up a reserve, so they're playing with, they only have 3 guys left on the bench. I think what they're going to do is they're going to leave Robinson in at right, in the 5th. And Calhoun is going to be taken out for a pitcher. And they sat Joe Smith back down. They're going to go with AJ Ochter. And he is a 12. All right, so basically pull a double switch here in order to try and save some position players, especially since we've already had a couple injuries. If we have any more, it could start eating into one of these teams. Rojas, we don't need the D20 right now. Leading off against Ochter. 3-7, that's a single. Marlins like the hi, James. What's up? Not much. What's up with you? So that brings in Yelich up to the plate. He is 0 for 2. And we could hit and run again here. The 4-3 lead for the Marlins. They're going to let him hit and run. Makes it a B because they're holding Rojas on. So that is a B7. B7. Batter misses pitch. Uh-oh, now we've got to send Rojas. That's the downside of this. So first we got to see if Rojas got a good lead. Get a 4 or a 6. And you get a 4. There you go. So that works out for the Marlins. At least you go from the 13, get some better shot. -1 hold for Octor, +1 for Soto means it's a neutral, and then you subtract. So it's a 1 to 11 chance that Rojas is able to steal second on the misses pitch. So not too bad. So 1 to 11, but he is caught stealing. So it is Yelich, so it's going to be a 1-6. All right, so nobody on, and Yelich will continue. And he would have had a single. That was a 3-7. So sometimes that, but okay, well, here's the ballpark single. A good day at Angel Stadium is only 4s on the singles and 8s on the home runs. So here's 1 to 4. And it's 20, so he wouldn't have had a hit in almost any stadium. So that's going to be a line out to the second baseman. And here is Stanton, 2 outs. That'll be a walk. See if that comes back to hurt Octor here. 2-out walk to Bohr. Not a guy you want to fool around with. 6-8 against a lefty. That's a line out right at Javatella, and that'll end the inning. No more runs there. 1 hit. Okay, I lost my chat window here on my tablet, so give me a second while I bring it back up, and I'm going to take a sip. So it's 4-3 Marlins, bottom of the 5th. At least have a relatively competitive game here between these two teams. Of course, you have Mike Trout. He's going to lead off here against Kohler, so that's always got a chance for some theatrics. That's a 1 to 4 single chance. 20%. That's a 2 off the screen there, but I try to slide it as much as I can with that. So you believe me that it's actually a 2. It is. So he gets a single. Beatles' best band ever? Well, to each their own. I'm not going to slag the Beatles. So Crone with Trout at first. Boy, they're going to get greedy and try to see if he can get some power here. Could try hitting and running with Crone. We're going to try the old power shot. 6-8 against a righty. Well, that's not power. A chance at a triple here, maybe 1. That'll be a single, 2 stars. That's close to the best you could do with a hit and run anyway. So 1st and 3rd now. The Beatles, they've grown more in my sensibilities in recent years, but I've always found their music a little, I don't know. I guess maybe it's just I heard so much of it. My favorite group's Steely Dan. I guess I like jazzier stuff, but the Beatles have some jazzy, jazz, complex stuff, I guess is what I would call it. Simmons, 1st and 3rd, they're going to play infield back. They'll give up that tying run in order to get 2 outs in this situation. That's a 1-3. That's a ground ball to pitcher B. They try to turn 2. That's going to score the run. Don't get the job done. It's going to be a 1-4 fielder's choice, and the game is tied. Maybe I should have played infield in there, cut off the run at home. It's always a tough chance. Yeah, I have too, James. I've seen them twice, and I've seen Donald Fagen on his own at the Tower Theater in just outside of Philly. So Simmons at first. He's going to try to get a lead here. He wants to try and steal. Needs a 4. Doesn't get it. Gets an 11. So let's keep going here. So Soto, runner at first, 1 out. 1-8 strikes him out. So Simmons didn't get a lead, and that 6 is just not good enough to go with. So Escobar, 111, grounded to the pitcher again, and we'll just say he takes it to first. Make it easy. Okay, through 5. It is 4-4. They tied the ball game there. Octor comes back in for the 6th. This will be his inning of weakness. And it'll be Marcell Ozuna, who will miss 3 games. He felt a twinge there. 1-7 home run for Ozuna here. Is it going to go? It is gone. A 6 does it. Home run, and they take the lead right back again. He smokes one right to the deepest part of the park, and that is going to make it 5-4. All right, Hechavarria. 6-7 against a righty. That's going to be a ground ball to second base. Johnny Giavotella. Let's see. It's a 4 and a 5. That's not going to get it done, probably. It's going to be a single. Angels are going to have to start thinking about maybe another bullpen move here. Let's see, what's Kohler? He's a 6. I guess he would probably stay in the game one more inning. Well, they might pinch hit for him if they get an opportunity to. So they're going to get Fernando Salas warming up. So Hechavarria with a runner. Hechavarria just was got the hit. Jeff Mathis, 6-5 against a righty, and that's another ground ball, this time to short. That's going to be Simmons. Chance at a double play here. 1E14. Holding the runner on with a right-hander, so he's still 1E14. And it's a 15. That's going to be a double play, I'm pretty sure. And a 10, yes. Yes, definitely. 6-4-3. And so nobody on, 2 outs. They're going to let Kohler hit for himself here. He's a strikeout machine. 5-11 against a right-hander. Well, he gets a hold of this one. Fly ball to right field. That will be Shane Robinson. I forgot to write down his numbers out there. Where are you, Shane? 3E5. 3 and a 7. 3 and a 7. Is it trouble? Oh, it's deep, but he gets it. And 8 on the E5 is good. So ends the inning. They get a run on the home run by Ozuna. Injury and all. 5-4. All right. I forgot to do my adjustments here as far as writing things down. So he's a 3 minus 1 E5. Salas will remain up. Actually, they may let Octor keep pitching if they go 1, 2, 3. So let's make sure I get things. I forgot to take Calhoun's card out of my deck and move the pitcher card. Okay, so it's going to be Ortega to lead off. 5-5 against a lefty. Strikes out Ortega. Bottom of the 6-5-4 Marlins. Shane Robinson, not very good here against righties. It's a 1-7. Ground ball to third. And with 2 outs, it'll be Giavotella. bring up the pitcher spot if Giavotella gets on base. It's a 1-4 ballpark single. It would need a 1-4 on the D20 for that. And you get an 18. That'll be a line out to shortstop, and that's a 1-2-3 inning. And let's see, Octor hasn't quite pitched to 9. They're going to let him go another inning. Salas has sat back down. They'd like to try and preserve this bullpen as much as possible. Top of the 7th, 5-4 Marlins, and Prado leading off. 3-11, ground ball to first. Crone underhands it to Octor. Rojas with 1 out. 2-9, grounder to short. Simmons with the throw over to first, and here's Yelich, 2 outs. Against the lefty, 5-7, ground ball to second base. Let's see, only 2 hits or walks in that second inning, and hasn't had one yet, so that means he is not tired. It's a ground ball to second, and the inning is over. So that worked out quite well for the Angels. They stuck with Octor, and he got them through the 7th inning stretch. And we will save you the rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Let's see. Kohler has, let's see, what do the Marlins have right now available? Barraclaw done. Who's coming up? They got Calhoun, Trout, and Crone. Let's see. They've got Brian Morris. They're going to stick with Kohler and get Brian Morris up in the pen here. I'll tell you what, it's tough to go too much more with Kohler, but he hasn't faced 30 yet, so let's see what happens. Pitcher spot for the Angels. They will pinch hit with Choi. Hi, Manny. Hi, Iron Gamer. So it's going to be KJ Choi, not KJ. He's a golfer. What the heck am I saying? Jiman Choi. It shows what I like most, probably, as far as sports, or one of my favorite sports is golf. I said KJ Choi. So here's Jiman Choi against Kohler. 5-4 Marlins, bottom of the 7th. Angels got to get some runs here eventually. 2-7 fly ball. That's to Ozuna, and he catches it, 1 out. Mike Trout. 2-7, or 2-8, rather. Strikes him out. That brings up Crone. 6-9 against a right-hander. And Crone, normal power, 1-9, a home run. This would tie it up, 1-9, and it's a 20. That's a double. So boy, what are we going to do here? What are the Marlins going to do? Are they going to stick with Kohler? They're going to go with Kyle Barraclaw. They sat down Morris, and they're going to take Kohler out here. So Kohler's done. Runner in scoring position with 2 outs is going to be Simmons coming up to bat, and they're going to go to Barraclaw. And I need to figure out what his injury rating is. Miami. He's a 0. 7 2/3 for Kohler. He has a pretty good game. Gives up 4 runs. I think only 2 of them earned. So it'll be Barraclaw here trying to get this final out. Could have tied the ball game there if it was 1-9, but Simmons now, a single could score the run. Here it is, 1-8. Ground ball to short, which will end the inning. threat over. Barraclaw, if the spot doesn't come up, he might stay in for another inning here. He only pitched for one batter. So it's still 5-4 Miami. And Fernando Salas will pitch now. Going to the top of the 8th. Cool, Gamer. That's great. Iron Gamer. That's a good name. Oh, Salas was with the Mets, wasn't he, at the end of the year? He's actually in this other. So he's got a 0 rating for injury, so that's good. You don't have to worry about any 6s. We already have had 2 injuries in this game so far. Chacin had come out. Well, he came out early as well because he had a rough 4th inning. Gave up 4 to the Marlins in that inning. He's going to miss only 1 game, which means that's part of his rest coming up for the next start, so that's really not a problem at all. Ozuna, he could stay in the game, but he is going to miss 3 games after this. So Stanton will face Salas here in the top of the 8th. It's 5-4 Marlins, as I have said before. Ozuna has the home run that put them ahead. So Stanton, 6-8. See, if I would have rolled that, I would have been digging around trying to figure out whether or not that's an injury or not, but it's not. So that's a fly ball to Shane Robinson in the game, relieving Calhoun in a double switch. Here's Bohr with 1 out. 5-10, lefty. Catcher X. Soto 3E1. And catchers you always kind of have to check because there's so many. And I'll tell you, that's a high roll. That's a 16, so he could have an error here. Soto a 3, and then a 17 is a G3, but then we have a 16, and Soto is E1. But he makes the play. A 17 would have been a problem, so that's going to be a 2-3, second out. Time for Ozuna. Oh, that's great, Iron Gamer. That's pretty cool. If you're on Twitter at all, I have one of my pals. His name's Craig. He goes by RNGIDP. He has an account on there. He did something very similar with the 2016. He has a couple games here on YouTube as well, but he's kind of taken it offline. He did a complete randomization of all the teams, and he's come up with some mascots that are kind of like Pokemon, jazzed up with some Pokemon sounding names and stuff. So you might want to check him out. It's RNGIDP. All right, so Ozuna, 2 outs against Salas. Ozuna, of course, with currently the death shot for the Angels here. 2-9, and that's a strikeout. So that's 1-2-3 inning for Salas. They may let him pitch another inning. We'll see. Might bring in Street. He's got a high injury rating, though. Barraclaw will pitch another inning. Start here, bottom of the 8th with Soto, 5-4 Marlins. 2-7. Uh-oh, Soto gets injured. You know what? This is absolutely right on the money for real life, because he was injured right at about this time in real life, which is pretty. It's sometimes, it doesn't always happen this way, but when it does happen, it makes it pretty awesome, because Soto ends up with I don't know if it was a torn rotator cuff in real life, and this is when Jet Bandy came up, was right around this 39 to 42 game mark. So this is the, what is this? This is the 14th game multiplied by 3. That's right around 42. So, this is pretty darn close. And so that was a ground ball to short. He's injured. We got to check and see. Well, guess what? He can't come out at all. Unless we want to try, let's see if my normal roll methods help leave him in anyway. That's a 4, of course. He should come out. It's an 8-game injury. It's only a 1-game, or not 8-game. It's a 1-game injury. But I think we will. We're going to honor what happened in real life, and he's going to be out basically for the rest of the season. But he will, because he. We're going to let him continue in this game because we don't have another catcher, and I don't really want to try putting a guy like Albert Pujols or Cliff Pennington behind the plate. We could, but it's not particularly realistic. I guess it could happen. Maybe I should have brought up Bandy before this game. But anyway, here is Escobar, nobody on. How do you score a strike and the catcher missed ball and the batter reaches first base? In real, like, on a score sheet or in Strat PC or in, I'm not sure which method you're talking about. If you're trying to keep stats by hand or whatnot, it's in theory it's a strikeout. The pitcher gets credited with a strikeout either way, and I guess it's considered a passed ball or a wild pitch, one or the other. There probably isn't a selection in Strat. Yeah, I mean, it's either a passed ball or wild pitch, probably, unless the throw was a bad throw, like he kept it in front of him and a normal effort would have meant that the throw would have gotten him in time, and like if he throws wide or something, I think then it's definitely an error. But all right, Escobar. I've never had that come up in the game yet. I guess that's probably one of these rare plays. So Escobar with 1 out, 2-6. Well, there is a single with a possibility of a double, and he gets the double. 1-5 double chance. So Escobar 2 for 4 now. Tying run on base. Barraclaw. They're going to get Ramos up in the pen. He can come on for up to a 6-out save. Here is Ortega. And they're short on their bench, the Angels are. So we got to swing here with Ortega. 1-9. Fly ball to right. They're not going to try to advance to third on that because you don't want to get thrown out at third for the 3rd out. And so Robinson coming up with 2 outs. And here we go. And that's a 2-4. 1-14 was single. Man, if they had advanced 1-14, and that is a single. Okay, so we got a decision here to make very, very soon. Actually, right now. Do you go to Ramos right now? I'm glad you like it, Iron Gamer. Boy, what do we do? I mean, I actually think that Barraclaw probably is better at... His card is probably better against righties. It's definitely a little better against righties. Oh, man. All right, we're going to stick with Barraclaw. He's not tired yet. 2 outs, Javatella. Runners at first and third. They can play with the infield back. Here we go. 2-11. 2-11, that's a ground ball to third. It's going to get them out of the inning. And that's that. So a little bit of unease there from Marlins fans, but they get through the 8th. And they're going to go to the top of the 9th here with a 5-4 lead. Salas will continue pitching here. I'll get Mike Morin and Jose Alvarez up just in case they need. Alvarez is available, correct? Just a second, I want to make sure before I go and... Yeah, they're both available. Morin from the right, Alvarez from the left, just in case Salas gets in some trouble. pitchers. Wait a second. Oh, I grabbed the wrong deck. So Hechavarria will lead off here. 5-6 against a righty. Strikes him out. Mathis. 1-9. Another strikeout. And the pitcher spot, they're going to bring in... It's going to go with Real Muto, but you don't want to mess with the catcher too much. I mean, the other team's getting to play their catcher the rest of the game, but they're going to use Ichiro. Let me make sure I write this down. Ichiro with 2 outs here. 1-3, and that's a single. He's going to try to get a lead. Need a 6 on the 6s. Gets a 2, so Prado with Suzuki at first. What's the second number? 11 plus 1 plus 1. So 11, 12, 13. 1-9 chance. That's 10-2. We will just swing away here with Prado. 2 outs. 4-6 against a righty, and that's a walk. So Salas getting into a little trouble here. It's going to be Rojas. They're going to bring in Alvarez if they get to Yelich. So here's Rojas with 2 outs. And they're going to go to their bench. And I think that's going to cause the they're going to bring in Derek Dietrich. Actually, yeah. So it's going to be 11. And the Angels will respond by bringing in Jose Alvarez to try and match up. So Salas goes 1 2/3 innings. Runners at first and second and 2 outs. And it'll be Dietrich against Jose Alvarez, and they're going to stick with Dietrich, even though they do have they might have someone else there to play at second, but that's a 4-11 against the lefty. That's a ground ball to second, and the inning will be over. Okay. So it's going to be Ramos to try and close it out. Dietrich, yes. Trying to sort my thoughts out here. 4E10. Not a very good defensive sub, but the other guy would be Chris Johnson, and he's not a whole lot better. All right, so it's going to be the pitcher spot. They're going to bring in Pujols to pinch hit. One swing could do it with him. Okay, so Albert Pujols will face A.J. Ramos. Bottom of the 9th, 5-4 Marlins. LA looking for a shot here or some string of hits. Maybe they can get this game finished off or at least tie it up and take it to extras. Here's Pujols. 6-11. What's Ramos? Uh-oh. Let's take a look here. He's a 6-12 guy, so 6-11 against a righty is a strikeout. Pujols retired. Now it's Mike Trout. Big bats coming up here for the Angels. Here we go. They don't need the D20 roll right now. Here is Mike Trout. They need a 1 column really badly. That's another 6-8 against a righty. That's a walk. Tying run on base. Ramos not good at holding. Mathis a -1, so that's +2. 18 + 2, 20. So a 1 to 18 chance. He's going to try to get a lead here. Gets an 11, so he does not. And not going to chance. Here is C.J. Cron with a runner at first and 1 out against Ramos. Again, another 1 column roll would do wonders for the Angels here. It's a 4-4 against a righty. Ballpark single. That's going to probably be a line out. 20% chance. 1 to 4. Oh, and it's a 4. Single. It gets by the shortstop, Hechavarria, and that's going to bring up Andrelton Simmons with the tying run at second, still with 1 out. So here we go. Let's see. We're going to say they're not holding on Trout at this point, assuming he's not going to try to take third. I don't know. That's a big risk to take. So here is Simmons with 1 out, runners at first and second. 3-7. And that's a single to left. Yelich with a -1 arm. And that's going to load the bases. Let's see. Are we going to send anybody? Oh, boy. That is a tough call. We're getting to brass tacks now. How do you make these decisions if you're in real life on third base? Do you send Trout? I feel like you got to hold him up, man. I feel like you got to hold him up here. If you get another hit, you win the ball game. Trout. Well, let's think about it. We have the luxury that we can actually think this through. Trout, I said he wasn't being held on, so that makes him an 18 -1, 1 to 17 chance. Do we want to chance it? Al says hold him. It's a 1 to 17 chance. I mean, that's 85%. You got to send him, don't you? You got to send him. You still end up with a runner at third, but you lose 1 at bat. We're going to send him. Against my better inclination, but against what any manager in real life probably would want their third base coach to do. We're sending him. It's an 85% chance right now. 1 to 17. I'm putting this arm down so we get to see what pops out of it. Here we go. 1 to 17. He's safe. 18, 19, or 20, he is gone. It's a 12. Now the question is, do we advance Cron on that? Kind of feel like he wouldn't have, but so I usually play that where the runner gets to advance. Any thoughts on whether Cron gets to move up to third on that and Simmons to second? I feel like Cron would be such a boat anchor that he would probably just hang up at second. But that was kind of the whole point, is if he gets thrown out at home, you'd want that guy to be at third. So Cron is a 10. He's about at the yeah, he's definitely on the slow side. Yeah. Is there... Let me see. Super advanced cutoff rule is where this advance the runners. The throw wouldn't be cut off in this situation. Yeah, and that's kind of the way I've always done that. Is like, the reason that you have a super advanced cutoff rule is because you would want to cut it off in case you wanted to get that runner at third. So that guy would get to advance. So Marlins fans may not be happy about that, but we're going to do it. So that means with Soto at the plate, they're going to intentionally walk him. His run means nothing. Play infield in, and here is Yuniel Escobar. So 1 out. It's going to be infield in here. Yuniel Escobar. A 2 column would probably do the trick and end this ball game. It is 5-5, bottom of the 9th, 1 out. Bases loaded, and Escobar at the plate. It's a 4-6 against a righty, and he strikes him out. That takes a lot of pressure off of Ramos now. That brings up Ortega. Well, they have Pennington, but they need... Let me see. They're really out of anything. They need to save Pennington to pinch hit. So here is Ortega. 2 outs. Ramos playing with fire here. And here it is. 5-6 against a lefty. And guess what? Guess what, guys? 5-6 against a lefty. Oh, wait, it's the closer rule, so it doesn't make a difference. Oh, there we go. That's a strikeout with a dot, but we're playing closer rule, so now he didn't have the lead. He blew the save already, but I still think you play that as the strikeout and the inning. So I think once you have to invoke the closer rule, then the closer rule is in effect until he's out of the game. Unless of course they, let me see, closer rule. Pitcher may enter a game in a closer situation. Some rules govern both. Each reliever enters game using either his closer endurance or his regular. If a pitcher begins with regular, there's a closer, he changes to his closer. Once a pitcher begins to use his closer endurance, that is his endurance for the remainder of his appearance, even if the score changes and the game is no longer... Okay. So, that is a strikeout, and we're going to go to the 10th. It is 5-5. It's just what we needed. I get complaints about it being long games. Well, it's getting longer. We took a while here to do this game. We've had a lot of changes and stuff, and so I'm going to take just a little bit of a break here to focus, because I'm like, these games always take a lot out of me, regardless of whatever. So Alvarez had to come out here. I got smoked in the comments at one point because I forgot to make a change. Actually, it's happened a couple times. It hadn't happened for a while, but then I had it happen recently. So they're going to go to Houston Street here. And I think Street is a 6-12. So extra innings. We got some free baseball, free strat. So if you like that, you get it. So he goes only at 1/3 of an inning. And he is a 6-7. Alright, so he's Houston Street. Going to face the middle of this order. What? Left field -2. What do you mean left field -2? Yelich is -1. Correct? Yeah, he's -1. And, I don't know. Not sure, Manny. It's okay. You may be a little behind. Might even be talking about something else completely different. But Yelich here against Street, top of the 10th. It is 5-5. 1-8. And that's a strikeout. Giancarlo Stanton. Marlins reeling a bit right here. They've gone a little cold. 5-4 against a righty. Ground ball to short. That's going to be Simmons. 1E14. And, oh boy, 15 on the E14. Let's check it out. E14 for a shortstop. A 15 is a one base error, so Simmons boots it. And it brings up Justin Bohr. Stanton at first, reaching on the air. Here is Bohr. 210. 1-6 home run. Will they retake the lead here? It's going to be a double at least, and it would... Oh. You think if the throw goes... Oh, see, Manny might be just a little bit behind. That's fine. So it's a 16. That's a double. And Stanton, you're going to hold him with 1 out. And a 12 run, and he was being held on to make him 11. Yeah, you're going to hold him there, especially with Trout's -1 arm. So second and third, it's going to be Ozuna. Ozuna's already had a pretty big game here. He's been limping around, but he hit a home run to get the 5th run for the Marlins. Second and third, they're going to play the infield in. Yeah, not going to intentionally walk. I'm thinking about doing that. They're going to play infield in. Ozuna, second and third. 1-5, 16 on the E20. 1-5. That's a walk, so he walks anyway. I've been thinking about doing that to begin with. Here we go. This error could cost them. Again, infield in. Hechavarria. 6-3 against a righty. Fly ball to right field B, and the run will come in. No question mark. That's going to be a sack. 9. Robinson catches it, but he has no play. Actually, what am I doing? I can't advance the runner from second to third. And so it's now 6-5 here in the 10th as Stanton comes in. Unearned run for Houston Street. RBI for Hechavarria, though. And it's going to be Jeff Mathis. Going to make a little executive decision here. This time we will pinch hit with Real Muto. Mostly for defense now with Mathis. Mathis is an E13. Real Muto is an E2. Of course, he's got a 16 throwing error potential, but all right. And you know, you get a little bit of extra pop here from Real Muto. First and second, 2 outs. 5-5 against a righty. It's a ground ball to short. Simmons has already made an error in this game, in this inning. That's going to be an out. And that ends the inning. And that's going to make it 6-5. Real Muto will stay in the ball game and catch. And so Ramos, in theory, could pitch another inning. he was not pinch hit for. He did give up the run, but he's tired. No, he's not tired because it's a closer rule. So we're going to stick with him. Shane Robinson is going to lead off here against Ramos. Don't need to take him out. Against a righty, 4-4, another ballpark single. If this one comes up as a 1-4, it's going to be... Yeah, okay, there you go. It's a line out to shortstop for the first out. Here is Javatella. 2-8. That's a ground ball to first. Taken to the bag by Bohr, and the last move available for the Angels, it's going to be Cliff Pennington. Pinch hitting for Houston Street. Last chance saloon here for the Angels. They need Pennington to come through and get a hit here to bring up Mike Trout. 2 outs. Here we go. 5-3. Batting from the left side. Ground ball to the pitcher. Ramos a 2-0. They need a really low number on the D20. And they don't get it. And it's an E0, so there's no error. And Ramos makes the play, and the ball game is over. The Angels go down in 10. They make a comeback in the 9th, but they can't do it a second time. And Ramos will get the victory. No save in this situation, even though we still were using the closer rule in effect. But he was the pitcher of record when they took the lead. The loss goes to Houston Street. Kind of a tough result for him. The error by Simmons really made that tough for them. Added an out and gave them a chance for the sac fly by Hechavarria to win it. So Chacin will be back for his next scheduled start. That injury won't sideline him too long. And actually, I put Soto's injury in the wrong spot. That's a one-gamer. But anyway, Soto, we won't see him again this season because he didn't play after around this time in real life. Okay, I'm going to pack it in here. Yeah, thanks, Iron Gamer. You could spell my name however you want. I'll get the gist of it. And my rear end is falling asleep and then some. I have a nice little stool here, but it's not the most comfortable stool in the world. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. This finishes up May 16th. Like I said, I might try to go and do some games offline in this. I keep saying that. I've said this many times, and it never happens. But eventually, I'm gonna have to make that decision to do it because I'd like to be able to, get through the season in the shortest amount of time physically possible, while also keeping a channel going and all that good stuff. So, all right, I'm gonna hang it up here. We're pushing an hour and a half. Long game. It goes 10 innings. The Marlins do get the victory, so they take the series 2-0 so far, and we got one more game in it. But I mean, they're up to 2-1. They've already assured victory, and they'll be looking to sweep on May 17th. So, in any event, have a great day, everybody. Hang in there and strat on. Keep at it. Thanks a lot.